Nice catchy song. Anyway, here we go with PokedexT's review of the Pidgey family. The Pidgey family is the normal slash flying type Pokemon. Pidgey, Pidgeotto, and Pidgeot. Generation 1 Pokemon, their status is very common because they're easy to find in red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, and crystal, mostly in the daytime. Fire red, leaf green. They're findable in diamond, pearl, and platinum, but I put a parentheses and a C standing for conditional. That's going to stand for conditional from now on. Basically what I mean by that is pretty much the same thing that's been going on with Weedle and Caterpie's reviews. In Diamond and Pearl, your counterpart character will have a little sister, and the little sister will tell you exactly if there's a swarm of Pidgeys in a certain area at a certain time during the game. Also findable in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, just like in Gold, Silver, and Crystal in the daytime. And also its abilities are Keen Eye, meaning that its accuracy can't decrease. And also has the ability Tangle Feet, meaning that its evasiveness raises once he gets confused. Has no signature move. Also, I apologize for the fact that the stats on each of these Pokemon look a little scrunched up right now. That's because for some odd reason, the background for normal types has more height than length. So, as a way of apologizing for that, I'm going to just go ahead and announce Pidgeot's base stats. And say what those are. Pidgeot's base stats. The health is 83, the attack is 80, the defense is 75, special attack is 70, special defense is 70, and speed is 91, which means it's a pretty versatile, balanced Pokemon. Pidgey's family is basically the relatives of all the other regional bird flying counterparts of each of the other regions, sharing this region along with Spearow. Pidgey, Spearow, Tailo, and Hoot Hoot, as well as Starly, and probably Generation 5's Mame Pato, the little pigeon-looking Pokemon, are all going to pretty much be the regional flying birds, having either a 2 or 3 evolution stage. Normally, this means that most flying-type Pokemon are all pretty much the same and are easily obtainable to get, not having particularly high stats, but can be a very useful Pokemon in the start of the game. As far as Pidgeot goes, there's nothing that really stands Pidgeot out from its flying-typed cousins, but what I do have to say and vouch for Pidgeot would have to be that it is a lot more balanced than its other counterparts, meaning that Fearow has more attack and speed. However, it's defensive wise, Pidgeot is a lot more versatile. Pidgeot actually has pretty good special attack too, considering that it's in the normal slash flying type category, only being beaten by one of its flying cousins, Noctowl, who's known to be the special attack and special defense of the flying typed birds. Another thing that's good about Pidgeot, it may not have as high a speed as the other Pokemon, even claiming to have Mach 2 speed, as stated in the Pokedex several times. It is a pretty fast Pokemon, though, however, and it has decent attack as well as decent HP, meaning that Pidgeot, like I said, is more of a defensive of the birds, because Pidgeot is known to have more of the higher defense between the birds Pokemon. It can hold its own in battle pretty well if you can EV train it in, say, attack and defense. Its speed will go up gradually by itself, meaning that even if base stat is not, even if it's going off its regular base stats, then it more than likely should have very reasonable speed and also be able to take a lot of attacks with its 75 physical defense as well as its 80 in attack. So EV training Pidgeot in attack and defense would be very good. Or the second option could be to EV train in physical attack and special attack. Being that, making it so that Pidgeot can use pretty good moves that require special based attacks like air slash, air cutter, and yeah, I'd say air slash, air cutter, and gust. The thing about Pidgeot as far as online, I have not seen Pidgeot online as much as I've seen Swellow and Staraptor. Pidgeot pretty much rivals that of Fearow as not being online for real. And I really don't see why. I mean, Pidgeot may not have any individual stats that make it really go out as being one of a particularly better of the Pokemon, but Pidgeot does have a thing about it that makes it a lot balanced. It can hold its own in battle if you can teach it the right amount of attacks and know the situation. Recommended moves for Pidgeot would have to say, if you want a Pidgeot to be more balanced, then I would teach Pidgeot Steel Wing, then Steel Wing, Air Slash, Aerial Ace, and probably a good move like Brave Bird would do. Then have Pidgeot hold an item that would pretty much guarantee it lives in battle. An item like Focus Band may help keep it around, or even if you want to get a last minute physical attack boost, seeing as our Pidgeot's physical attack is the second highest thing on the stat list, I say the best way to go would have it hold a berry that can increase its attack when it has really low health, making it so Pidgeot can use one last Brave Bird and make that attack do a lot of damage before it being eliminated. Reasons for Steel Wing would be not only because it can hold off against its rock type weakness, but also so that it can have a possibility of raising its defense when it is if the conditions for Steel Wing work right, it can raise its defense, thus further helping it up against its rock type weaknesses. As far as having a weakness to rock, Pidgeot is probably the only Pokemon that can have a possibility of living due to this weakness because of its well-balanced defense. Pretty much, if you're planning on having Pidgeot on your team, then I say the best route as far as ability wise, if you worry about missing a lot, then I would say have Keen Eye on you. Tangled Feet is a good ability to have too if you want to dodge a lot of attacks, if you're really worried about Pidgeot getting attacked by your opponent. But the downside is that Pidgeot has to be confused first. So it's more of a 2-on-2 battle. Use Swagger to increase Pidgeot's physical attack power, and then later on have it be more evasiveness. Pidgeot was on my Leaf Green team, so it's a good Pokemon. Anyway, that's Pidgeot's review. Tyrone out.